Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Perusing Israel. I'm your host, Natalie.
And I'm Max.
Max, I feel like people really enjoyed the best of Perusing Israel, where we went, we reminisced on all of the really awesome times we've had over the year and a half of filming.
Yeah, I remember. We've talked about a few different topics and covered different things.
Yes, I think we should do that again.
Okay, but what are we going to do this time?
This time, we could talk about the food. I mean, we've been eating nicely on the show.
Yeah, we've tried a lot of different restaurants. You know, people in Israel love trying different food, and as a result, there's all kind of options.
Yes, there's Middle Eastern flavors, there's flavors from all over the world. Let's show that.
Let's take a look.
In the midst of the vegan wave that has hit Tel Aviv, we decided to come to a restaurant that combines organic vegan and Indian cuisine. Dosa Bar highlights the southern Indian street food called dosa. I think we should give it a try. The head chef and owner of restaurant Dosa has traveled to many countries around the world, but always found herself returning back to one place, India.
I think it's the only place I feel that I can go by myself, and then because I know no one leaves you by yourself in India. You always travel with people that you meet there, amazing people.
With India's very diverse climates in different parts of the country, they can produce many different types of spices. Each region of India has their very own distinct and rich cuisine that vary significantly from each other.
There is Indian food and there is South Indian food. And South Indian food, it blew my mind.
The traditional dosa is served with a filling of potatoes, onions, and different spices.
I wanted this place to be very loyal to the tradition of the South Indian food. And I wanted to have more versions of this dosa because you can do everything with the dosa.
There is no longer a need to travel beyond the borders of Israel to get good old-fashioned American-style cooking. Today we came to Restaurant America in our favorite culinary capital of Tel Aviv. The restaurant is spread out over 1,200 meters of outdoor gardens. It includes a bar, a food truck, and 2 different kitchens. So Uri, what do you have for us today?
We brought a special cocktail on the menu, which is called Stifler's Mom. It's classic American pie. Everyone knows who she is.
Wow, I'm loving this mason jar that it comes in.
Exactly, classic.
The restaurant also features an indoor bar where they play live music until the wee hours of the night. This food looks phenomenal. And don't get me wrong, I love Israeli cuisine, I love the falafel, the shakshuka, the shawarma. But every now and then we get a crave for this American, good old southern comfort food, right?
Sure.
Max, you lived in the South for a good amount of time. Is this authentic Southern style food for you?
So for the real American dream, look no further than Restaurant America to satisfy your cravings. Ethiopian cuisine comes directly from nature. It consists of delicious and extremely healthy ingredients. Today we came to Keren HaTemanim, the Yemenite quarter in Tel Aviv, to try the different flavors of Ethiopia. Amidst the calm, narrow streets is an authentic Ethiopian restaurant. Its strong culture is reflected in its food.
רציתי באמת לתת ביטוי למטבח שבו גדלתי, למטבח שבו אני רגילה ושל ההורים שלי, של אימא שלי. ולהפוך את המטבח הזה לנחלת הכלל, זאת אומרת לכולם.
Ethiopians have a communal style of eating. The platter is set at the center of the table and is shared by everyone. The traditional method is not with a knife and a fork, but rather with your hands.
All right, let's dig in with my hands.
Enjoy.
Wow, that's good. So many different flavors and colors here on this dish. So what do we have here?
So around here you have different things like that. This is green lentils. In here is potato with carrot and onion. In here is shuro. Shuro is Ethiopian hummus that we smash it and we put it like 36 spices, different ones. It's a little bit spicy, so it's amazing. This is Ethiopian hummus, but not smashed.
So Ethiopians, I see, do not like anything bland or boring. They like it with a lot of flavors and lots of spices.
Yeah, they like to feel the taste on the mouth. I like it.
לא משנה צבע, דת, לאום, לא משנה, כולם פה אוכלים, זה של כולם, ואין, לא משנה מי אתה, בא ליהנות, לאכול ולצחוק.
Eating out in Beersheba is always a delight because there's a little something for everyone to enjoy. But today we decided to come to Restaurant Yakuta to enjoy some North African cuisine. One of the great cuisines of the world, the food of Morocco is known for its flavorful combinations and rich aromatic spices. Wow, yummy stuff taking place here. Moroccan food reflects the country's unique and varied cultural tapestry, with each bite bursting with decadent flavor.
So Moroccans are very fond of hosting, and it's a culture well known for their hospitality.
The menu at Restaurant Yakuta is split into two: the Moroccan slow-cooked dishes that take several hours to make, and the avant-garde dishes made by the restaurant owner himself, who goes by Beber.
Most of this food is cooked all night, and especially the one in the clay pots. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Let's look under these clay pots. We're in for some karais.
Chaime, which you cooked with Beber earlier.
We made that together.
Yeah. So this is the lamb stew. It has onions and raisins. Here is the chicken with olives. Here we have the oxtail. And this is the veal stew with tomatoes.
I don't even know where to start. There's so much food on the table. A little from everything. Now, how long does something like this take to make? This is couscous from scratch.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the most tasty chicken I've ever had. It's so juicy.
Max, that was yummy stuff, wasn't
Yeah, I got a little hungry watching those clips, to be honest with you.
it? So delicious.
So what's next? We've done so many things.
Well, I think the best way to see a new place is through a tour guide.
Oh, we've met plenty of those here
Yeah,
on the show.
Plenty of those. I mean, there's so much to see. We went on architectural tour. We went on, food tours, vegan tours. What else?
Yeah, geez, we've done so
Can't
many.
even remember.
It's hard to remember. Maybe we should take a look at some of the clips.
Let's see.
A true artist can find inspiration just about anywhere. And with the abundance of talent there is in Israel, it's no surprise there are art exhibitions all around the country. Today we came to visit an exhibition in a rather strange location. So strange we had to check it out. Tel Aviv's Central Bus Station is one of the world's largest, serving over 1 million passengers each day. It was also designed to function as a shopping mall, boasting 1,500 shops on 7 floors and spanning 144,000 square feet. The Central Bus Station has surprisingly become a hub for contemporary art, as it features a permanent graffiti exhibition on the top floor. This art project brings about a whole new vibe to the standard Israeli bus station, with so many different colors and different forms of artwork. Can just anybody contribute to the project?
Basically, anybody can come here and do their art, and it's been happening that people have been coming and bombing and adding their stuff. But there's more than 100 artists that have been invited, and they have gotten certain sections and walls.
Not only does the artwork improve the aesthetics of the Central Bus Station, but the exhibition's central goal is promoting street art by presenting it in a public context, outside of traditional museums or galleries. So you are one of the first guides leading graffiti tours in Tel Aviv, correct? And tell us about your passion.
The whole idea is to look at culture from different perspectives. There is fine art, there is public art or graffiti, and there is also startups, and you can show a lot of different perspectives that come from different angles to the same thing.
The exhibition covers 3,300 square feet and features different artistic mediums such as paint, spray paint, stencils, acrylic, and even recycled materials. 1, 2, 3, go. So with an increasing interest in street art among the general public and the recognition of its benefits to the urban landscape, it has indeed caught the interest of the art world.
What I like in street art or public art, it's more accessible to people. You don't have to be finish an art degree in order to understand and feel and experience and have some thoughts and ideas that can you contribute yourself.
What better way to delve into a city's culture than through its food? Today we came to the beautiful city of Haifa to meet up with our tour guide Jessica, who knows the ins and outs of local street food. So I'm so happy you came on our show today. This is one of my favorite things to do, food tours. I came prepared, I'm hungry, I can't wait to start this tour, so let's get going.
Okay, great.
Culinary travel has now become the most popular traveling method and can be enjoyed by people of all ages. Local cuisine provides a direct connection to the history, the people, and the culture of the city.
Here we are in downtown Haifa, and this is our first stop on the tour. It's called Borekas Bahar Agala. Bahar is the family name of the family who's owned it for 54 years. And Agala means the cart that they used to sell the borekas out of, and now this whole restaurant has come up around this cart.
And what do you have for us?
What are you thinking? Cheese? Cheese. Cheese is the best, yes.
This looks absolutely scrumptious.
Cheers. Enjoy.
Wow. So fluffy and warm.
So here we are at our second stop. It's called Meir's Ptiliot. Ptiliot are the original slow cookers. So what you would be making your Shabbat food on.
Wow. This home-cooked food really makes me feel like I'm at my Shabbat dinner table right now. So Jessica, why specifically Haifa? Why did you choose this city to do these tours?
Well, we've been undergoing a citywide renovation for the past 5 years.
Okay.
It's going to go until 2025, and they've really been gentrifying the area, cleaning it up here. This was a place that historically had a lot of really great street foods because there were industrial workers in the area. That's where you find the street food. It's a quick, fast lunch. It's not too expensive.
So you would say in the past few years, the city has really evolved?
Yes.
And changed?
This has become the second city center in the city. It used to be at the top of the hill in Carmel Center. And now kids come out here to the bars, to the pubs. It's a new place to go out and be.
It turns out art is not only kept on the inside of museums anymore, but it has been brought out on the streets of Tel Aviv. On every corner you can catch fascinating work of art. The street art draws in art lovers from all around and gives you a sense of the vibrancy and creativity of the city.
Many people see it as street art or graffiti. I see it as layers of urban reality. So we can talk about words here, we can talk about images, we can talk about who wrote what, why.
Florentine in South Tel Aviv has a very different vibe than the rest of the city. You can find many different cultures, from Greek and Turkish residents to Eritrean refugees. The neighborhood's narrow streets has it all.
Right, so some of the things, for example, like En Shum Sikui, there's no chance. I don't know who wrote it and why. It's an open question to us. But this one, boys just want to have fun with this stencil of this guy. For 2 years, I didn't know what was this story. Until one day someone stopped me in the street and said, my friend made it after this guy cheated on her.
Oh.
And she took his photo, made a stencil, wrote, boys just want to have fun, and made it on all the walls in the neighborhood.
There's no ordinary alleyways in Tel Aviv. Wow. This is beautiful.
I call this place the Piazza because it's like a square.
So what exactly goes on here between these alleyways? Is it just an abandoned area for artists?
So no, during the daytime, this is a functioning area of workshops of carpenters, upholsterers, welders, etc. Once they go home, come the people that do art and street artists and people who write stuff.
So you basically never know what you're going to see, what you're going to get here on the streets of Florentine. There's always going to be a new symbol, a new picture, a new hidden message that we're going to find out.
Exactly, and also I cannot get too attached because this might not be here tomorrow. So I might love it and like, you have to see it and it's not here, so I have to accept the fact that we're going to look at what we have right now on the walls.
Wow, there's a lot of tours, my goodness.
I love bringing new people onto the show.
Yeah, you know, I forgot some of those. It was cool to see some of those faces. You know, it reminds me of something. All this looking back, there's a lot of museums here that do historical museums, art museums.
Israel's definitely home to some of the most interesting museums.
Very true.
Museums of how this country came to be.
Yeah.
Museums, art museums, I mean, it's interesting stuff. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's do it.
The IDF is the strongest army in the Middle East, but you may be surprised to learn that such a powerful army started from humble beginnings. Today we're going to learn all about the sacrifices of the members of the Palmach through their personal stories and the legacy they left behind.
A few years before the formation of the Israeli Defense Forces was the establishment of the Palmach, the underground Jewish defense organization. It was active during the years between the Holocaust and the birth of the State of Israel.
So we're going to enter to an audiovisual exhibition. Basically it means that we're going to walk through a movie. Actually, two kinds of movie are taking us down in the exhibition.
The Palmach represented a new generation of Israeli people, ones that would work and fight for themselves and for what they believed in.
So for the people that don't know, why don't you tell us exactly what Palmach means?
So the Palmach is an acronym for Plugot Machatz in Hebrew. It means striking forces or striking companies of the Haganah organization. Haganah in Hebrew means defense, so it was the main defense organization back here in Palestine before Israel was established.
The visitors go on a journey through time and space by joining the members of the Palmach from the moment they volunteer and enlist until the end of the War of Independence. These scenes are accompanied by original black and white images and films from the 1940s.
We should enter to Tel Aviv of 1941, where our story begins. The story of the Palmach begins.
The Palmach members lived in camps and kibbutzim. They split their time training and working the land. Each scene depicts an image of the original place where real events had once occurred. The personal stories of the members featured simple, low-ranked soldiers who eventually became heroes and made history.
Is Palmach now a special unit in the army? Does it still exist?
No, actually, as the War of Independence ended, the Palmach kind of emerged into all parts of the IDF. As during the war, David Ben-Gurion, after he declared the establishment of Israel, decided that if there's one nation, there should be one military.
The Palmach was the backbone of the IDF, which today continues to build its forces with Israelis and new immigrants. The IDF instills in its soldiers the knowledge of the battles once fought and the love of Israel.
In the historic part of Jaffa, overlooking the shoreline, sits a one-of-a-kind museum, which houses all the beautiful creations of renowned Israeli artist Ilana Gur. Go, Max.
The Ilana Gur Museum combines art, design, and history and boasts over 500 works of art from her personal collection, as well as pieces by her favorite artists from around the world.
I'm a collector and I'm an artist. I make clothes, I make jewelry, I make furniture.
Each room features creations from different places and time periods, with each work of art telling a story of its own.
I didn't plan it as a museum. It was my summer home. I live in New York. I always say, if I ever come back to Israel, I would like to live in a city that Arab and Israeli work together.
The multifaceted artist moved to the States at an early age to pursue her artistic career, quickly becoming a hit in the art world. Many successful exhibitions later, she moved back to Israel.
The structure of the building, how far does it date back to?
This building was constructed in 1742, so in the 18th century. Yes, it's quite old.
The building served as the first Jewish inn for pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem. And today, it still features some of the original fixtures and furnishings.
This was the first Jewish home in Jaffa. The biggest was built by the Turk and outside of the city of Jaffa, outside the wall. When you go downstairs, you'll see a broken wall. This was the wall of Jaffa.
So here you could really see that she loves to combine all these different kinds of materials.
Yes, to play with them, to show us the textures, to combine something industrial with something organic, like this fur and the wood.
Look at the difference between these two pieces up here.
Yes, these two, both chandeliers were made by Ilana, but this kind of wooden piece, and this piece, this huge piece, reminds a spaceship or maybe a lamp in an operation room.
Ilana's captivating works of art have attracted some well-known and highly regarded people worldwide, including Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, Bill Clinton, and the Dalai Lama himself. Overlooking the walls of the old city of Jerusalem, the Menachem Begin Heritage Center honors the legacy of one of the greatest leaders in modern Jewish history.
Menachem Begin was a very passionate Zionist and made it his goal to work towards making Israel an independent state.
The center tells the story of Begin starting from his youth and culminating into becoming Israel's 6th prime minister. Through a series of media-rich presentations, visitors go from room to room, immersing themselves in the life of Menachem Begin.
So the museum is a audio-visual experience. Behind these doors that we're going to walk through in a moment, there's the 4 stages of Menachem Begin's life, youth in Poland, the head of the underground movement, the Irgun, head of the opposition for 29 years, and the prime minister of the state.
So that sounds really cool. We're basically getting a glimpse in the different stages of Menachem Begin's life. Let's go through the doors.
Begin was a passionate Zionist from an early age, from being the leader of Zeb Jabotinsky's youth movements in his teens to becoming the leader of Israel's Irgun, the underground movement which fought for Israel's independence.
Welcome to the Menachem Begin's living room.
That's right, in the living room. All of the original furniture from Begin's small apartment in 1947 Tel Aviv are featured right here in the museum.
They had 1 living room, 1 bedroom, and sort of a mini kitchen. And eventually they also had 3 kids. The living room was a living room by day, but a bedroom for the Begin couple by night. He used to open the door to his apartment every weekend and just invite people who wanted to drink coffee or tea and talk about politics or about their lives.
As the new head of state, Begin helped initiate the peace process with Egypt, which then granted him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1978.
So this is the last room in the museum dedicated to Menachem Begin's, maybe his life's achievement, the establishment of peace with Egypt. And my favorite artifact in the whole museum is what's in this case over here, his speech that he spoke on the White House lawn after signing the agreement with Egypt. And what I like is the stationery. If you can see what that's written on, it says on top
the Washington Hilton. Oh, he just wrote it on some piece
Exactly.
of paper that was in a hotel.
It's like, this is the Prime Minister of the State of Israel. He's signing the most historic agreement ever, and he takes the Washington Hilton stationery, and with the blue pen, you can see, like, writes it out, maybe even
some scribbles.
Yeah, maybe like marked out. I won't say this in the end. That's the kind of guy he was.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Cruising Israel. We love having you here with us.
Don't forget to catch us next time as we cruise the country and show you the best Israel has to offer.
Bye.